More than 70% of serious engine problems don't start with factory defects or bad luck. They come from small daily habits that most drivers don't even realize they're doing. Many people think it's normal for the car to lose power, become rough, and consume more fuel over the years. But that only happens if you allow it. In this video, you'll discover simple attitudes that can make the engine run like new, even with more than 240,000 kilometers on the odometer. And pay attention, because near the end, I'll reveal an extremely common habit in Brazil, especially in the heavy traffic of big cities, that's silently destroying modern engines. If you drive every day, this video can literally save you thousands of reais in maintenance. Now let's get straight to the point. Number 15. Warming up the engine properly. For years, drivers were taught to let the engine idle for several minutes, sometimes 5 or even 10, before pulling away. That used to be standard advice, but with today's engines, it's actually one of the quickest ways to waste gas and increase internal wear. Contemporary power plants are engineered to reach optimal temperatures while on the move. Extended idling is like forcing a sprinter to jog in place endlessly before a race. It doesn't prepare anything and can even cause issues. The smart approach is straightforward. Start the car, wait about 30 seconds for oil pressure to build, then drive off gently without heavy throttle input. This allows lubricant to circulate efficiently, warming parts evenly and minimizing friction. In cooler regions or during chilly mornings in southern Brazil, prolonged idling can lead to incomplete fuel combustion. Unburned fuel then dilutes the oil film on cylinder walls, accelerating abrasion and shortening engine life. Making this one adjustment can prevent accelerated wear equivalent to thousands of extra kilometers over the years, sparing you from expensive shop visits. Yet many drivers unknowingly commit an even more damaging oversight on a regular basis. One that's invisible, builds up slowly, and hits hard over time. It's coming up next. Number 14. Sticking to proper oil change intervals. A surprising number of owners push oil changes beyond recommendations, thinking, it's synthetic, so I can go to 12,000 or 15,000 kilometers. That's where things go wrong. Engine oil does far more than just lubricate. It carries away contaminants, combustion byproducts, tiny metal fragments, and sludge. As it ages, its cleaning ability fades, and it starts harboring debris instead of removing it. What was once a protective layer turns into a thick, abrasive paste that clogs passages, starves parts of lubrication, and speeds up component failure. The oil filter helps, but it's not designed to handle prolonged neglect. In conditions like Brazil's intense heat, stop-and-go city driving, and high humidity, experts suggest changing oil every 5,000 to 7,000 kilometers, tailored to your vehicle's specs and usage. Consider it the engine's equivalent of regular hygiene. If skipped repeatedly, problems emerge that are far costlier to fix than a toothbrush. Don't rely solely on oil color. It can appear clear while being chemically compromised. If you're following along so far, great. The next tip involves a small, often ignored component that dramatically affects how your engine runs. Number 13. Cleaning the mass airflow (MEF) sensor. This sensor is easy to forget, yet it's crucial for engine health. Positioned between the air filter and intake manifold, the MEF precisely measures incoming air volume, so the computer can deliver the exact fuel amount needed. It's essentially the engine's airflow meter. Over time, dirt, pollen, oil mist, and road grime coat its delicate elements. This distorts readings, leading to improper air-fuel mixtures, sluggish throttle response, unstable idle, higher fuel use, and reduced power. Many attribute these symptoms to normal aging, but they're often reversible. The fix is simple and inexpensive. Use a dedicated MEF cleaner spray. Remove the sensor, following your model's guide. Apply the product carefully without scrubbing or touching the wires. Let it dry fully, then reinstall. Doing this every 15,000 to 20,000 kilometers can restore crisp acceleration, smoother running, and better efficiency, like giving the engine clear vision after foggy glasses. Number 12. Replacing a clogged air filter. The air filter acts as the engine's primary defense against airborne threats. Picture trying to sprint while breathing through a cloth mask. That's what a dirty filter forces on your motor. Loaded with dust, bugs, leaves, and pollutants, it restricts intake, forcing the engine to labor harder. Restricted airflow leads to richer mixtures, wasted fuel, weaken performance, and added stress on internals. A fresh filter takes minutes to swap, costs little, and delivers instant benefits: sharper throttle feel, steadier idle, lower consumption, and reduced strain. Countless drivers go years without checking theirs, but the engine pays the price with every restricted breath. Regular replacement is one of the highest return, lowest effort upgrades available. Number 11. Refreshing the coolant on schedule. Coolant isn't just colored liquid. It's a multitasker that regulates temperature, fights corrosion, lubricates the water pump, and prevents internal rust buildup. As it degrades, it loses additives, turning acidic and contaminated with scale. This shift allows corrosion to eat away at passages in the radiator, block, head, and heater core. Blockages raise operating temperatures, spiking risks of gasket failure or warped components. In Brazil's warm climate and heavy traffic, aim to replace coolant every 2 to 3 years. The process involves draining the old fluid, flushing with distilled water, and refilling with the manufacturer-specified type. Benefits include consistent temperatures, faster cabin warm-up, and protection against catastrophic overheating. Ignoring it often leads to clogged radiators or stuck thermostats, issues that snowball without fresh coolant. Number 10. Inspecting and replacing the thermostat preventively. This inexpensive part has one job: opening at the precise temperature to allow coolant circulation. When it fails, consequences can be devastating. Stuck closed, it traps fluid, causing rapid overheating, sometimes in minutes during traffic jams. The gauge climbs, steam escapes, and severe damage like warped heads or blown gaskets follows. Stuck open, the engine runs too cool, leading to poor efficiency, higher emissions, sluggish performance, and incomplete warm-up, common in shorter trips or cooler seasons. Replacement is often quick and cheap, using basic tools. Yet it's overlooked because it rarely warns in advance. No noises, no lights until trouble hits. Watch for erratic temperature readings, weak heater output, or related warning codes. In high-mileage vehicles, over 100,000 kilometers with the original unit, proactive swap is smart insurance. One stuck-closed episode in hot, gridlock conditions can push temps beyond safe limits, compromising aluminum components and seals. Fixing resulting damage often runs into thousands. Number 9. If you're still running conventional mineral oil in your engine, it's time for an upgrade to full synthetic. Mineral oil isn't bad. It's served engines well for decades, but synthetic is on another level. Think of it as upgrading from an old tube TV to a 4K OLED screen. Suddenly, everything looks sharper, lasts longer, and performs better. Synthetic oil holds its viscosity across a much wider temperature range, resists breakdown far longer, and creates less friction inside the engine. That means reduced wear on critical parts, cleaner internals with almost no sludge buildup, and often a noticeable drop in fuel consumption. Many drivers report the engine feels smoother on cold starts, runs quieter overall, and pulls stronger on hills. The upfront cost is higher, sure, but it easily pays for itself through longer oil change intervals and better long-term protection. Check your owner's manual. Virtually every modern engine is approved for synthetic, and once you make the switch, you'll wonder why you waited so long. Number 8. Don't neglect the transmission fluid. It's one of the most overlooked fluids in the car. If engine oil is the lifeblood, transmission fluid is the hydraulic backbone that keeps everything shifting smoothly. It lubricates gears, cools components, and maintains precise pressure for clutch packs or torque converters. Over tens of thousands of kilometers, it oxidizes, picks up metal particles, and loses its ability to protect. You might not notice at first, but eventually you'll feel sluggish shifts, hesitation, or even slipping. In heavy stop-and-go city driving, towing, or extreme heat, very common in many regions, this degradation happens even faster. A proper fluid exchange, or at least a partial drain and refill, flushes out the old contaminated stuff and restores smooth operation. Most manufacturers suggest intervals between 60,000 and 100,000 kilometers, but checking the fluid condition regularly is smart. Ignoring it risks catastrophic transmission failure that can cost thousands. A simple fluid service now can add years of reliable shifting later. Number 7. Replace the accessory drive belt, often called the serpentine belt, before it leaves you stranded. This single rubber belt powers essential systems. The alternator that charges your battery, the water pump that keeps the engine cool, the power steering pump, and the AC compressor. When it snaps, usually without much warning, you lose all of those at once. The dashboard lights up like a Christmas tree, the temperature gauge climbs rapidly, steering gets heavy, and soon the engine shuts down from overheating. Belts last a long time, but heat, age, and mileage make them crack, glaze, or fray. Listen for squealing on startup or when turning the wheel. That's your early warning. Replacement is straightforward and inexpensive compared to being towed. Typical service interval is 100,000 to 160,000 kilometers, but inspect it during every oil change. A few $100 now beats being stuck on the side of the highway any day. Number 6. Stop revving the engine unnecessarily when the car is standing still. We've all done it, flipping the throttle just to hear that growl, but it offers zero benefit and actually harms the engine. When the engine is cold, oil hasn't fully circulated yet, so high revs force metal parts to rub with inadequate lubrication. Even when warm, pointless revving spikes fuel use, stresses engine mounts, and accelerates wear on bearings and pistons. Your car isn't a race machine waiting for the lights to go green. It's designed for efficient, real-world driving. Let it warm up gently at idle or by driving lightly for the first few minutes. Save aggressive throttle inputs for safe overtaking when you actually need the power. Your engine and your wallet will thank you. Number 5. Change your spark plugs on schedule instead of waiting for misfires to embarrass you. These tiny components create the spark that ignites the air-fuel mixture in each cylinder. When one starts failing, the engine runs rough, loses power, wastes fuel, and can even damage the catalytic converter with unburned fuel. Often there's no warning light, just gradual hesitation, stumbling at idle, or weak acceleration that makes you look slow off the line. Replacement is quick, affordable, and transformative. New plugs restore crisp throttle response and smooth running. Follow the manufacturer's interval, usually 60,000 to 160,000 kilometers depending on plug type, copper, platinum, or iridium. Think of it as routine maintenance that prevents small issues from snowballing into expensive repairs. Number 4. Replace the air filter regularly. It's one of the cheapest ways to keep your engine happy. Your engine gulps huge volumes of air with every revolution, and a clogged filter starves it. Dirt, dust, pollen, and bugs build up over time, restricting airflow and upsetting the air-fuel ratio. The result? Sluggish performance, higher fuel consumption, and in extreme cases, black smoke from incomplete combustion. You'll feel it as lazy acceleration and a general lack of punch. In dusty rural roads, polluted cities, or heavy traffic, filters clog much faster. Luckily, they're inexpensive and often DIY-friendly. Just pop the airbox open and swap it out. Aim for every 20,000 to 30,000 kilometers, or sooner if conditions are harsh. A clean filter instantly improves responsiveness, efficiency, and engine longevity. It's like giving your engine a deep breath of fresh air. Number 3. Break the habit of flooring the accelerator every chance you get. Driving aggressively might feel thrilling in the moment, but constant hard launches punish every major drivetrain component. Sudden wide-open throttle floods the engine with fuel, slams pistons upward at maximum force, and strains rods, crankshaft, valves, and transmission. Over time, this leads to premature wear, oil leaks, overheating, and potential catastrophic failure. The danger is doubled when the engine is still cold. Metal clearances are tighter and oil flow isn't optimal yet. Modern ECUs actually deliver smoother, more efficient power with progressive throttle application. Gentle, steady acceleration often gets you up to speed just as quickly while using less fuel and sparing components. In turbocharged engines, repeated hard driving without proper cooldown can cook the turbine oil and create carbon buildup. Treat the pedal with respect, firm when needed, gentle the rest of the time. Smooth driving rewards you with reliability and lower running costs. Number 2. Perform a throttle body relearn procedure, often called resetting the butterfly, after battery disconnection or certain repairs. Modern electronic throttle systems constantly adapt to driving conditions, but they can lose calibration when power is interrupted. Symptoms include unstable idle, surging RPM, delayed throttle response, or even stalling. The fix is simple and usually free. Many cars have a specific key-on sequence. Fully depress the pedal several times. Wait, or leave the ignition on for a set period. That forces the ECU to relearn idle position. Pair it with a careful cleaning of the throttle plate using dedicated cleaner. Avoid harsh scrubbing. Drivers often notice immediate improvements: steadier idle, sharper pickup, and slightly better fuel economy. It's a quick reset that makes the engine feel refreshed and properly tuned again. Number 1. Get a professional intake system decarbon cleaning. It's the single most impactful service most owners never do, especially in direct injection engines, now standard in most new cars. Carbon deposits gradually coat intake valves, runners, and the throttle body. This buildup restricts airflow, disrupts fuel mixture, and robs power while increasing consumption and roughness. Over years, what started as a smooth-running engine turns hesitant and inefficient. A proper cleaning uses specialized chemicals introduced through vacuum lines, or directly, safely dissolving and removing the carbon without disassembly. Results are often dramatic. Stable idle returns, throttle response sharpens, lost horsepower comes back, and fuel efficiency improves. Do it every 40,000 to 60,000 kilometers as preventive care. It won't add magic power, but it restores what grime quietly stole. Your engine will run cleaner, stronger, and younger for many more years.